Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today is Reflection Sunday. I wanted to talk to you about something I've been thinking about all day long, trying to think about how to make this video. This is like the 50th take I made of this video. But it's a wonderful podcast, which I'm going to put in the link, with Megyn Kelly and Mike Rowe. Mike also did this with Theo Vaughn. But take a listen to this segment that I've clipped for you. And think about what Mike and Megyn are saying. Now, just to give you a little bit back of the context, this is they're commenting on Michelle Obama's podcast, where she's talking about her time in the White House. I don't know, it could be taken out of context, but it just seems a little bit of an idea of entitlement that it seems that Michelle has, that both Mike and Megyn are commenting. So take a look.
I know a friend who went to the White House with his wife in Trump 1.0 and had almost the same story. They slept in the Lincoln bedroom. Trump offered them the ice cream. So not to take away Elon's specialness, but my point is he's very gracious and he's like a caretaker. Everybody says that about Trump. You go to golf with him at Mar-a-Lago or any one of his properties. He's constantly making sure that you've got drinks and you've got food and you're happy. Anyway, I just think, I don't know how we got on this line, but back to Michelle Obama. She's not happy. She's unhappy, and she wants you to be too. She looks around at the immense opulence around her. She's literally complaining about the fact that even though the White House is free, the home is free, the staff are free, the 55,000 square foot home, by the way, on 18 acres is free, but she has to pay for her own food, Mike. She's got to pay for her groceries like everyone in America.
No justice, no peace. It's like, oh, God. I forgot what I was going to say.
I know, we're getting old. And the champagne.
But I know. It's going to, what was it? I think it was something to do with, you mentioned the Lincoln bedroom. I was at the Henry Ford Museum last night at this event. They have the chair from Ford's Theater that Lincoln was sitting in when he was assassinating. And I stood next to it. And I did something I never do. I took a picture. And I'm not a sentimental person like that, but the Lincoln bedroom, the chair where he was sitting, and right around the corner is the bus where Rosa Parks refused to move. You can sit in the seat where she sat. These artifacts, they're very powerful, and it's really easy to like minimize them and even dismiss them and not live in wonder in their presence. That's what galls me about what we're talking about, the privilege to be in that house. I mean, if you think about Adams, and if you think about all the presidents who came before and all the families who lived there, and then make a list of the people who had that privilege, who made the complaints that we're talking about now, there's nobody on that list. That just didn't happen.
No.
I got this thing called a sweat pledge. If you apply for a scholarship from my foundation, you have to sign it. And the very first tenet on it says, I believe I have hit the greatest lottery of all time. I'm alive. I walk the earth. I live in America. Above all things, I'm grateful. I have it there simply because I think it's impossible to feel sorry for yourself if your fundamental default position is gratitude.
Yeah, I mean,
And those are the people that I'm trying to surround myself by and help. And
I've gone in a different direction.
Okay, great. So that's the video. I wanted to share that with you. But the main takeaway, if you recall from what Mike said, was if your default position is gratefulness, it just seems like you will have nothing but anything but up to go from. And I think that's just a wonderful way to think about things, because if you read the comments, which is why I wanted to make this video, I read all the comments in those in other people's YouTube channels. They're really very informative. But what I was trying to find out for myself was something I kind of discovered along the way as I'm reading this, and there's a theme of everybody writing in their comments, and it just seems like there's two main emotions that are really the undercurrent of their comments, and that is anxiety and worry. Many of the people in those comments are saying something about they don't have enough money and that's the reason why they're working, or they have to pay health insurance and they're worried about that, or they're worried about their health. But the comments from that video were from a couple that's doing retirement videos, and what they were talking about is a change in mindset. And that's what I wanted to talk about here. If you ever heard the term, it takes money to make money, well, that's so true, because the mindset is you got to spend the money to make money. And just like in retirement, you have to start shifting away from the idea of saving to making money. And when Mike and Megan are talking, it just seems like the default position for anything should be your gratefulness, just as Mike is saying. And if you have that as a basis, everything else looks great. You don't have to worry about whether or not you have enough money. If you just have to worry about your health and the things to look forward to. Remember, we live 85 maybe years in total. So as Megan was saying, we have 85 summers. And so right now, I'm 55. It seems like my best years are ahead. I see a lot of people at 65 that are not in great shape. And I don't know. I think in the meantime, if you're cognizant of that, you could take care of yourself and do things to help with your health. But the short of it is the mindset. If we're constantly thinking about that, then we're always going to default to a position where we're just going to be negative. And Mike is saying, just like anything else, that we should change our mindset. And just like with retirement, you need to change the mindset from being savings to spending. I really blame our society, our governmental structure, and how things work in the United States for a lot of these problems and this thinking. Just look at the way things are structured. If you save money pre-tax, you're saving it into a 401k, which then goes into the stock market. It doesn't seem like there's many other asset classes to purchase except stocks or mutual funds. So why is that? Why did the government structure though? Why not have other things? Like, why can't I invest in real estate? Or why can't I invest in people, right? Why did they structure it in such a way as the stock market? Well, to me, short of saying it's a psyop, it just sounds like they want to tax us away. This is a structure and framework by which it's another mechanism for us to tax. Now, granted, it's a good structure for us to save, right? It incentivizes us to save. But if you think about how it's designed, it's all around the corporation and working in a corporate environment. And that to me is the part that really bothers me. That mindset, that framework has created this mindset where we always are constantly worrying, we're always constantly having to think about saving. So fast forward to when it's time to retire, people are more concerned about not having enough. But if you look statistically, I found, I don't know if this is the truth or not, but it seems statistically that people have enough. They in fact don't spend as much. And that's a very sad kind of conclusion of things in retirement. That makes me sad because I don't want to, I have a mindset where I feel like I don't have enough. I'm constantly thinking what about next month's bills for the mortgage? What about insurance? Which, oh my goodness, the insurance is, I don't know why it's so expensive. But just like Mike is saying, if you go back to a default position of gratitude, everything looks rosier from there. And I think that's the way we need to look at everything when it comes to retirement. Think about your health. Think about what you've saved. Think about the children that maybe you've produced. And maybe those things will make things land a lot easier. It's helping me today when I thought about it. I'm like, wow, I do have a lot more to be thankful for. I'm very thankful that I am very healthy. Very, very healthy. I can do things that normal 55-year-olds cannot do. I do a lot of jiu-jitsu. I fight young guys and I beat them. And not only from a physical gratitude perspective, but also from a mental gratitude perspective. I enjoy that. And it makes me happy that I can do it. And I'd like to continue to do that. And I think many people need to have that thinking as well. The comments, everybody's in this rut of worry, and we shouldn't worry. If you work on the small components to make a fruitful life that you can say that your children can look back and say, yeah, my mom and dad did a great thing for her when they were living, that's where I think we need to look forward to. Forget about all we need retirement money, don't get me wrong, we need security, but there's more to it than that. There's more to the accumulating of cars. There's more to accumulating assets, more to accumulating income. So I will leave you with that. Thank you very much for watching. Please watch Megan's and Mike's podcast episode. It's really, truly something to listen to. There's another one also on Theo Vaughn. You can find that on YouTube as well. But try to, maybe I haven't communicated as eloquently as I'd like, but it just seems like there's a lot to be thankful for and a lot that we should be looking forward to. And remember, always land on a default position of gratitude, because I think if you have that perspective and that, if you're on that vector, everything in your life will fall into place naturally and probably very, in a very blessed manner. So thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe to the videos, and I really enjoy doing these, and I will see you in the next one.